Next time, bring only an open mind and a cigar to celebrate our union.
I'm planning to reply to him and tell him that I make it up my mind.
Oswald Mosley said this to Tommy Shelby after their first meeting, after demonstrating complete knowledge of Tommy's family, after revealing he knew their secrets, their weaknesses, their fears, after making it clear he was untouchable. And Tommy, who had killed gangsters, politicians, and enemies across continents, could do nothing but accept the cigar and agree, because Mosley wasn't like Tommy's other enemies. He couldn't be shot in an alley, couldn't be threatened into submission, couldn't be bought with gold or intimidated with violence. Mosley was protected by the establishment, by aristocracy, by intelligence services, by the very system Tommy had spent years trying to infiltrate. So Tommy had to do something he rarely did: play the long game, infiltrate, pretend, become Mosley's deputy, while secretly working to destroy him from within. This scene shows why. Let's examine exactly what happened, why Tommy couldn't just kill Mosley, and what this reveals about fighting enemies who are embedded in power. The warning: Tommy calls him the devil. Before Mosley even enters the room, Tommy warns Arthur and Michael. The man we're about to meet is the Minister for the Duchy of Lancaster. He is also Deputy to the Chancellor of the Exchequer and Cabinet Advisor to the Prime Minister of Great Britain. You've both met bad men before. The man we're about to meet is the devil. This is Tommy establishing what they're dealing with. Not a gangster, not a rival businessman, not even a corrupt politician. A man at the heart of British government. Someone with legitimate power, official positions, and connections at the highest levels. Someone who operates within the system, protected by it. And Tommy calls him the devil, not because of his political views, though Mosley's fascism is abhorrent, but because of what he represents: an enemy Tommy can't defeat using his usual methods. The demonstration: Mosley knows everything. Then Mosley enters and immediately demonstrates why he's dangerous. He starts casually revealing that he knows everything about the Shelbys. Michael Gray: you lost all your cousin's money in America playing the fool. A nightclub in Detroit called the Gladiator was your regular. You lost the money and found a wife there. This is Mosley showing he has intelligence on them. Not just surface-level information, deep knowledge. What nightclub Michael frequented in America, where he met his wife, how he lost the company's money. Then he turns to Arthur, and poor old Arthur Shelby, standing there at the window, is afraid his wife will never return. My spies tell me she's been seen with another man. This is psychological warfare. Mosley isn't just showing he has information. He's weaponizing their personal pain. Arthur's marriage is falling apart, and Mosley knows it. He knows Arthur's deepest insecurity, and he mentions it casually, like it's nothing. Arthur starts to react. You can see the rage building, and Mosley just smiles and says, and bingo. 20 seconds in, and I have them speaking their war lingo. This is Mosley demonstrating complete control. He deliberately provoked Arthur to show Tommy, I can manipulate your family. I know exactly which buttons to push, and I did it in 20 seconds. The power move: Mosley's protection. But the most devastating part comes when Mosley reveals what he knows about Tommy's enemies and allies. That investigation of the dead journalist, the queer, I made that go away. This is Mosley showing his reach. A journalist was killed. There was going to be an investigation, and Mosley made it disappear. He's telling Tommy, I have power you don't. I can make problems vanish. I have connections in law enforcement, in government, in intelligence services. I operate at a level you can't touch. And more importantly, I'm showing you this so you understand. If you come after me, these same connections will protect me and destroy you. The offer. Deputy leader. After this demonstration of power and knowledge, Mosley makes his offer. I do have plans. I will have need of men like you. Except, of course, there is no other man like you. You in particular, I need. This is flattery mixed with truth. Mosley genuinely needs Tommy. Tommy has working class support. He controls Birmingham. He has organizational skills and ruthlessness. He's valuable. But Mosley is making it clear. I'm not asking you to join me because I fear you. I'm inviting you because you're useful. You can help me, or I'll find someone else. Then comes the line. Next time, Bring an open mind and a cigar to celebrate our union. This isn't a request. It's not even an invitation. It's an expectation. Mosley expects Tommy to say yes, expects him to join, expects celebration. Tommy's realization: he can't just kill him. After Mosley leaves, Arthur asks the obvious question: "What the fuck was that all about, Tom?" And Tommy reveals what just happened. "I've just been invited to become the deputy leader of a brand new political party. These people say they are the future." Notice Tommy doesn't say, "I'm going to kill him." He doesn't say, "We'll deal with this like we deal with everyone else." Because Tommy understands immediately. Mosley is different. He's protected. He has spies embedded in Tommy's organization. He has government connections. He has intelligence service support. You can't just shoot a government minister and get away with it. The system would come down on Tommy with full force. Everything he'd built, the political connections, the legitimacy, the move into respectability, would be destroyed. The strategy: infiltrate and undermine. So, Tommy does something different. He plays the long game. Later, we see him meeting with his cousins. "I'm planning to reply to him and tell him that I'm making up my mind. But in the meantime, you need to give me instruction. I could fight him on my own if I have to, or I could join his organization and undermine him on behalf of the king." This is Tommy's strategy. He can't beat Mosley from the outside, so he'll join Mosley's organization and destroy it from within. He'll become deputy leader of the British Union of Fascists. He'll gain Mosley's trust. He'll learn his plans. He'll identify his vulnerabilities. And then, when the time is right, he'll strike. Not with a bullet in an alley, but with information, betrayal, and the backing of British intelligence. Why Tommy had to play the long game. This scene perfectly demonstrates why Tommy couldn't use his usual tactics against Mosley. 1. Mosley is protected. By this point, Mosley is protected by the establishment. He's not a gangster operating in shadows like Sabini. He's not a vengeful mobster like Luca Changretta. He's a government minister with official positions, legal authority, and direct connections to the Prime Minister of Great Britain. Killing him would bring the full weight of the British government down on Tommy like a hammer. Everything Tommy had spent years building, political connections, legitimacy, the move from criminal to businessman to politician, would be destroyed overnight. He'd be hunted as a terrorist and executed too. Mosley has intelligence on Tommy. He knows about Michael's failures in America and where he lost the money. He knows about Arthur's marriage problems and his wife's affair. He knows Tommy's business dealings and his vulnerabilities. He has spies embedded everywhere. In Tommy's organization, among his associates, possibly even in his family. Tommy can't operate in secret against someone who seems to know everything he does before he does it. 3. Mosley has powerful allies. Captain Swing mentions that Mosley plays polo regularly with Colonel Wyatt from intelligence services. They share exclusive club memberships in London and Birmingham. The British establishment protects its own members fiercely. Tommy is still fundamentally an outsider, trying to break into their world. A gangster from Birmingham who made money and bought respectability. Mosley is an insider with decades of aristocratic connections, family ties, and institutional power. The system will defend him. 4. Mosley represents an ideology. This isn't just personal conflict or business rivalry. This is fascism rising in Britain, part of a larger international movement. Killing Mosley wouldn't kill fascism. Someone else would immediately replace him and continue the work. The British Union of Fascists would march on. Tommy needs official sanction. At the end of the scene, Tommy calls British intelligence to confirm his position as informant is officially sanctioned. He needs the government's backing. He needs to be working for the crown, not against it. Otherwise, he's just a gangster attacking a politician, and he'll be destroyed. The meeting with Mosley, accepting the role. Later, we see Tommy meeting Mosley again. This time, Tommy brings the cigar. He accepts the role. He joins the fascist party. Mosley reveals his plan. 2 months ago, I was in Rome. I met Mr. Mussolini. You and I, and men like him, we will shape the future. The British Union of Fascists will be born on January 1st of next year. First day of a new decade, the 1930s, Mr. Shelby. will belong to us. This is chilling. Mosley has met with Mussolini. He's coordinating with international fascists. He's planning to reshape Britain, and he's confident it will work. And Tommy sits there, smoking the cigar, playing along, because he has no other choice. The long game is the only game he can play. The final truth. Next time, bring an open mind and a cigar to celebrate our union. This line represents everything Tommy is fighting against. Mosley expects cooperation, expects celebration, expects Tommy to join his fascist movement and help him take over Britain. And Tommy does bring the cigar, does accept the role, does become deputy leader, but not because he agrees with Mosley, because it's the only way to fight him. This is Tommy Shelby facing an enemy he can't defeat, using his usual methods. He can't shoot Mosley, can't threaten him, can't intimidate him, can't buy him off. Mosley is protected by the establishment, has government connections, had intelligence service backing, knows all of Tommy's secrets, has spies embedded everywhere. So Tommy has to do something he rarely does. Play the long game, join the enemy's organization, gain his trust, learn his plans, wait for the right moment to strike. This requires patience Tommy doesn't naturally have, requires pretending to support ideas he despises, requires working with fascists while secretly planning their destruction. But it's the only way. Because Mosley represents something different from Tommy's previous enemies. Not just a gangster with a gun, not just a corrupt politician who can be bribed, but an ideological movement embedded in the power structure itself. The scene where Tommy warns Arthur and Michael, the man we're about to meet is the devil, shows Tommy understands this immediately. He knows Mosley can't be fought the way he fought the Chandrettas, or Sabini, or the Billy Boys. Mosley is the devil precisely because he's untouchable through normal means. He's legitimate, official, protected, connected. So Tommy does what devils force you to do. Make a deal, accept the partnership, join the organization, and plan betrayal from within. That's why Tommy had to play the long game. Because sometimes the enemy isn't someone you can shoot in an alley. Sometimes the enemy is embedded in the system itself. And the only way to destroy them is to infiltrate, undermine, and wait for the perfect moment to strike. The cigar Tommy brings to celebrate their union isn't surrender. It's preparation. It's the opening move in a much longer war. A war Tommy can only win by becoming everything he hates, working with fascists he wants to destroy, and playing the long game against an enemy who thinks he's already won.